An Analysis of Chloris by Ronaldo Hahn. The poem Chloris was written by a French poet named Théophile de Viau. The name Chloris was most often associated with a Greek goddess of nature. The introduction immediately transports the listener to a romantic scene where it is not hard to imagine the beautiful Chloris surrounded by spring flowers, inspiring a lover's adoration. To understand more about Chloris, it is helpful to know what was happening in Ronaldo Hahn's life around the time that it was written. When World War I broke out in 1914, Hahn volunteered for the army even though he was over the normal enlistment age. While at the front, he composed the cycle of 5 songs and poems by Robert Louis Stevenson and began to sketch his opera based on Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice. This is also the time when he wrote Chloris. He used the songs as an escape from the tragedies of war, comforting wounded soldiers and increasing morale. This influence can be heard in the music. The accompaniment starts out light, hopeful, and wistful sounding, although it does not stay that way throughout the piece. One such phrase where Hahn uses dissonance is accompanied by lyrics that translate to "How unwelcome death would be." This text painting exposes some of the conflict that Ronaldo and his fellow soldiers most assuredly felt. The English translation of the French lyrics, according to IPA source, goes as follows. If it is true, Chloris, that you love me, and I understand that you love me well, I do not believe that even kings could have a happiness equal to mine. How the death would be unwelcome if it were to exchange my present state for the joy of heaven. All that they say of ambrosia does not inspire my imagination like the favor of your eyes. So the introduction starts out in E major with a walking bass line and a fluttery, light-hearted top voice created by the triplets seen here. Each of the triplets here and throughout the piece start and end with non-chord tones that I would consider passing tones, even though they don't always happen on the weak beats. The first note of the triplet seems like an upper neighbor tone, and the third note is a lower neighbor tone. The chords in measure 1 stay tonic, with the progression going from 1 to 1-4-2 to 6 to 1-6. Then the second measure starts to be more predominant and dominant from 4, 5, 1-6, 4, and 5. Measure 3 ends the introduction with a perfect authentic cadence. As the voice comes in, almost the whole first 2 measures repeat themselves exactly except for the last beat and a half of the second measure. Measures 6, 7, and 8 and 9 continue much in the same manner, using only 1, 4, 5, and 6 chords, with some inversions. But in the 9th measure, an A sharp is added, which starts several chords with dissonance to match the text, which is now talking about death, and how the singer doesn't want to be taken away from Chloris, even if it meant being in heaven. Chords like B flat, B sharp fully diminished 7 to C sharp minor 7 to A sharp diminished, and on. It doesn't get back to the original E major until the last 3 measures, which is the same as the 3 measures of the introduction, ending on a perfect authentic cadence.